today's stainless steel pipe work, we've got to turn this stuff to pieces into something like that.
Different ways to weld, fabricate pipe to flange spool, Season 3, Episode 9.
Stainless steel spool, 4-inch Schedule 40 Type 316 stainless steel, raised face flanges. Got to make 2 of them that are 5 3/4 inches from outside to outside of the flange, the raised face part. So let's see how I bring you along for the journey. February 21st, 2020. Wojnarski is back again with a welding fabrication tech tip video for everybody, and the weather forecast is 56 degrees right now, pretty sunny, tiny bit cloudy, not really, but 56 degrees, high of 63 degrees and low of 36 degrees in sunny Florida, Dunedin, Florida. So I'll explain it a little bit to you. 5 3/4, that's what I need outside to outside, and I would like to do a 3/8 recess on the inside for the pipe and the flange. I'll show you in a second. And same thing on this side. So 3/8 plus 3/8 is 3/4. So 5 3/4 minus 3/4 equals 5 inches. So I'll cut my pipe to 5 inches, and that's what I already did over there. And just got to make 2 exactly the same size, just because it's 5 3/4 face to face. So I already cut it to 5 inches, and I deburred it and everything with the flap disc, just regular flap disc, and designated for stainless steel only. So that's good to just mark your things. You don't want to cross contaminate and do carbon steel with that, because it could rust out your stainless. So good to just keep your stainless stuff with stainless and designate it to that. Then after I deburred the outside, I like to take a little bit of grinding saw marks off to weld a little better when there's not deep grooves in there. So I did that with the flap disc though, but I like to take a little wheel like this, put it in the drill, and just kind of surface the outside a little bit, and just makes it weld a little better and looks a little better, I think, after it's wire brushed. So after that, oakite. If you haven't seen another video or know about the spools, like how they are, pretty much goes like that, and then the other flange goes on top like that, but they got to be clocked right. The holes got to be 2-holed exactly in line with each other, and then this got to be spaced out. That's where my 3/8 comes from, and it's got to be spaced out a certain length to get it that perfect dimension. And then so it'd be 3/8 this way, and it'll be sitting, hang on, it'll be sitting 3/8 like that, so you'll have 3/8 to weld on the inside and some on the outside, or vice versa, whatever. And then clock them right 2-hole, and make sure they're plumb and level, or whatever you want to call it, level that way, flip it 90 and level again. So we'll bring you along for the journey. All this stuff's cut, and these are good, ready to start welding, but I'm gonna just clean them a little bit with some oakite, just get some of that nasty dirt off, and we'll have some nice fresh stainless to start welding. This is my stainless steel cleaner, oakite 33. Put it in a bucket of water, and it's like I mix like 1 part of that's like 10 parts of water, and I use a Scotch-Brite pad and just keep it in there and put some gloves on and clean your stuff up and wash it off, let it dry, and nice and purty, and it's passivated after that, so it protects it a little bit more. So it's good to do your parts after welding and everything for like a final thing, and it protects it and makes it look really good. I'll do it beforehand too, just because it's a little dirty right now and like to clean it up. Little caps I like to save too, and once it's all done, I'll put them back on, just to protect them for customers, so the faces don't get all bashed up. All right, all cleaned up, ready to basically start fitting up and welding it. So let that dry, and it's about 12:30, 1 o'clock, so I'm just gonna eat quick lunch while that dries, and we'll get back to it. Hopefully you guys can see a little better in here too now. I got my new little light bar I installed and put a couple lights I had up. Made this little light bar, ran an extension cord, and it like it swivels, so it could go right over here or over that way too if I want. So give me a little extra light. So hopefully this video will be a little lighter. All right, we're back finally. It's like 2:15, like an hour, 2 hours later. Just had too many, like 3 or 4 people come in, and I had to help take care of them. But back to it. Gonna start fitting these up onto this. I don't know why I drew my lines on. I don't need them for this, and I don't do it this way. So I'm just gonna clamp this down. I'll show you how to do one, and maybe I'll time lapse the other. But clamp this flange down. Make sure no dust or anything underneath. Clamp it down. Put some 3/8 shims in there. Put this on. Kind of center it up if there's a little play in there, and we'll tack it. And then I only do that for one side, then I'll stand it up and 2-hole the other side. So I'll probably do that, do another, and then we'll do the other. I was gonna put you on a tripod, but I guess I'll put you on my little mount, and we'll go from there. So clamp your flange down. Make sure it's good and solid. Now I should have a shim for that, or I could use fireball shims.
Here's our little pipe shims that we have already pre-made. Let's see if I got some. 4-inch, 1/2 inch. There should be a 3/8 somewhere.
There we go, found it. See how dusty it is over here? Sergio. Judd. Hint, hint. But here's the little pieces we have made up. Over time they come in handy. So you could use this, or you can use fireball shims or something that's 3/8. You could do whatever size you want, 1/2 inch or something, but 3/8 is good for us. Sometimes half's a little better, but for what I cut my piece to, I need 3/8 to get that now because I cut this already. So that's that. Put that in like that and just kind of center it up and make sure I hold it down. I could get something to hold it down or something when I tack it so it doesn't pull up anyway, and we'll get ready to tack it, I guess. Okay, so we got our pieces tacked up like that now. I did both of them. Now we can move on to the next step. And then like that, I'll have that little inside to weld there, and up here after it's all done on each side. This thing's short. How short this thing is going to screw me up a little bit because I usually use these things, but now the other flange won't fit on, so now I'm going to have to find something small. Anyway, this is what I like to do though. Get my second part, put the shim back in there, and put this on. You can kind of eyeball it to 2-hole if you want. Just make sure it's kind of flat, and I like to just trace a little line around there because that's my measurement I need. And maybe I'll just do it in quarters. I mean, you can go all the way around if you want, but it's not needed. And then do the same thing for the other. That way, when I stand it up like this, I know how much that flange needs to go on to get it to where it's got to go. And that should be my 5-inch from face to face, or pretty close. Then I'll measure after that. Yeah, so this little block won't fit in either. So now I got to find something a little smaller than that, preferably a V block. I feel like this thing just got like 2 times as hard because my normal way that I do it, I can't do it. I can't fit this clamp in here, and my V block won't fit in here, so now it just rolls freely. So I'm going to do it a different way this time. Tacked on the outside, so this is my piece I'm going to hold it down with. So I'm going to clamp this down, but I still got to have room to get my 2-hole pins in. So got to figure something out that I can clamp it maybe like that, and put my 2-hole pins in, clamp this down, and clamp this to this, and then I can kind of clamp this square like this and keep it from moving and hold my 2-hole level like that. So if that makes sense, here's your 2-hole pins. You need these for keeping your pipe level if you don't know already. Just helps you clock one side with the other, because like that way it'll be perfectly in line and everything matches up in the field. So that's what most stuff goes off of. So small that my 2-hole pins won't even go in like that either. I'm sure I could probably go like this though, and that'll still be 2-hole and come down here. But man, this thing's turning out to be difficult. So let's see, hopefully it gets us in the ballpark. Kind of level that, clamp that down. That's pretty good. So that's 2-hole like that. I can't even like level off the face of this thing. It's so okay. Level right there, match it with the table, which is good. We're a hair towards that side, hair towards that side. So I think that's pretty good. Now put my 2-hole pins in this side. Alright, I'm not really sure where I left off before. I had someone else come in, but that's alright. I need a little break. This thing's kind of frustrating me for today. But anyway, I got this thing 2-hole up top, I think. Oh, that's weird. Moved a little bit. I gotta tighten that pin now. So that should be hopefully close. And this I gotta just get set up. This should be level like that, 2-hole like that, and now clamp down. So that should be good. Now I just have to put this piece on and try clamping it or doing something. I could probably get it close like that. If I 2-hole it somewhere like that and get it right on my line, you could kind of see that should be close enough. And just get a tack up top and then level it like this and push the inside in wherever I need it, tack the inside or the bottom, then I'll spin it 90 degrees and do the same thing, and should be on a roll with that hopefully, finally. I mean, really it's not a big deal. It's just funny because I was talking about this with somebody named Travis, one of my follower friends or whatever, that he does a lot of smaller stuff and it's a pain sometimes. And it's funny because we were talking about that yesterday and I run into that, and that's what this is. I mean, it's not a pain, it's just my normal tooling setup is a lot easier, or I have tooling set up for bigger stuff, where the smaller stuff I just have to refigure stuff out. Where if I did this all the time, I'd have something easier. But enough jabbering or jibber jabbering, whatever you want to call it, and we'll get back to it. Alright, hopefully you've seen that pretty good, but we got it leveled up top. We're level right there, so we're pretty good with that. Double check this. I'm a touch closer to the left line, so I made this one closer to the left line too, so we're good with that. Now I'll just spin this, unclamp that, and spin it 90 degrees, which now my 2-hole pins are going to be in the way. Usually I could leave them on, but I could probably take them off now. You gotta move everything around, but had to readjust this thing, that. Take those 2-hole pins off. I could leave these on, but this doesn't have to be 2-holed with that. It's still in line and it's tacked, so it shouldn't move. But main concern, which now I kind of have to, well, I could get in like this, but this is already tacked, so that we already know that this is level with this. So we're level, close to the left line, like that's how the table is or whatever. So I just want to bring this one, level this way. And it should be good. And then afterwards, I'll just set it back up straight and 2-hole everything and just make sure it's level again that way and 2-holed. So that's what we'll do. But I think we're close like that, close to the left line, close to the left line. So I think we're pretty good. Put a tack on the top. It does pull a little bit sometimes, so you just got to account for that. But you can usually bop it or something. Not sure if you'll see this with my helmet on. Just a quick little tack, nothing fancy. And you should be wearing gloves when you do that. See, it pulled a little bit, but I think we're all right. We're about in the middle now. Yeah, I think we're pretty good. And if I would tack the inside there, it would pull back a little bit, but sometimes if I tack on the inside, being that I can't get under there, I'll tack there. It doesn't really pull that much there. So you can use that to your favor sometimes. But I think we're close enough for that. Put a little tack on. There we go. So let's see. Okay, how are we? We're pretty level there. Pretty level there. And we can't really check our 2-hole, so we'll spin it and check our 2-hole. So I get my smaller fireball square and try to 2-hole this, and being that it's got a raised face on there, you gotta watch where you clamp it at. Otherwise it's not really level. Okay, level. So now we'll put our other 2-hole pins and check that, but just check our level here. Pretty level. I think we're pretty good. So we were level that way. Now we're level this way. Now if my 2-hole pins are in line, we should be good. And let's see. I think we're pretty good. And that's how you do it. This was probably the hard way to do it, but I think we're good. So now I'll just throw, I like to put 8 tacks on the outside and 8 tacks on the inside of each piece, just so it doesn't pull or anything, but at least 4 tacks and 4 tacks I think you should do, just so it doesn't pull or anything, and should be good to go. One thing I forgot to do though, which was kind of dumb of me, but I guess I got too distracted, is measure my part before I tacked it, because if I was off now I'd have to cut the whole thing. So I think we're pretty good. I checked it and we're 64th under about, which I wanted to make it just a little under. I'd rather it be a little short than a little long usually. So if they usually give me whatever measurement, I like to make it just a tad bit under, not a lot, like maybe a 64th to a 32nd. So we're good and we're level, 2-hole, and that's it. So more tacks and ready to weld. Time lapse that other one Monday, and then we'll time lapse welding the thing, I guess, or get you a little part of welding it. So sorry about that, everybody. It was supposed to be a quick, easy video, but just shows you that sometimes little change of things can actually cause disturbance. So we'll see you guys Monday, though. I guess I'm gonna start wrapping this stuff up, and yeah, and I'm going to be that guy, and I'm going to leave all this stuff here so no one messes with the table over the weekend. Because I see they got all this wood. I don't know if they plan on cutting this and over there, but I don't want them cutting on the table. Use their table over there, right? Here's something cool for you guys. If anybody's Polish, I got these the other day. $500 bills. Polski Zylot, if that's how you say it, 1979 $500 bills from Poland. Kind of cool. My new little hobby, collecting coins. Here's something cool too, I'll show you guys. This is really neat. This I try buying and selling some stuff though too. Carson City Morgan silver dollar, 1884 from a GSA holder. 1884 Carson City GSA holder, that's the holder that it's in. MS63 graded by NGC, kind of cool. Got a little luster to it, but what do you think that thing goes for? Without looking it up, take a guess in the comments and let me know. This was $1. You could buy this back in the day. These used to be $1. Well, not the whole case and everything, but that coin itself was $1, and that they used to use that as coins. And then later on, I think when they sold this, it was like $20 to $50 or something. Now, guess what that coin goes for? Let you know if you guess. Reply to you in the answers. I mean, you can look it up, but play a little game for you. Little guess. While I'm at it, if you're into coins and stuff, or you're in the Dunedin, Florida area, a little shout out to my friend Roy and Zane. Their shop, B Gator Coins. That's one good thing to do. Just investments, like stuff like that. I mean, you don't have to do that or whatever, but any type of investment, stocks, cryptos, gold, silver, coins, anything. I mean, know your stuff before you get into it, but invest in and invest in while you're young, just to try making money. Good stuff. Like if you put a little bit away each week and you buy something or invest it in something, then it could go a long way and help you out. That's my little tip. I mean, a lot of stuff like Robinhood and Coinbase and stuff isn't around like it used to be back like 10-15 years ago for me, but I wish I would have put like 20-50 bucks, whatever I could afford, even if it's like $10, just stashed it away and diversify into stocks, savings, gold, silver, and stuff like that. So tip for the young guys and everybody. Doesn't have to be much, even if it's $5 a week or something. Something's better than nothing, and if you don't do it, you'll keep putting it off. We're back Monday, February 24th, 2025. Today's forecast is rainy in Dunedin, Florida. 65 degrees right now, and high of 66 and low of 59. Travis, he gave me some advice on this doghouse thing for a tripod. So I'm just gonna do it another way. I mean, this little block right here would work for up there, but I'm gonna try up here and try his way for some of you people in the field. If you have a pipe vise or whatever, tripod vise, whatever you want to call it, you make a little V block. This isn't how they made it. I think some people I've seen, I googled pipe dog house or dog box or something, and some people do two angles, like one going like that, one going like that. Just Google it and you'll probably find something, or YouTube it, and a bigger one on top, and put that in like that. And kind of this one's already welded up or tacked up, and this one's loose, but I'm just putting them both on to balance the weight out so it doesn't lean back like that, and that centers it up pretty good. I've got enough room right in there for this. I could bring this out to my line where I need to. Hopefully this chain's long enough. This chain's a little rusty, so I'm gonna have to clean this part when it's done, but enough jabbering for you guys. But I think that works. So I'll put my 2-hole pins in both sides, 2-hole it, lock it down, try leveling this thing out, and then we'll work on that side. I think I got it pretty good. That worked pretty good, that idea. I don't know if it's faster or not. It's probably about, I could probably work with that about the same speedish or whatever. So, I mean, it might be faster, who knows. Definitely a good idea though, definitely. So thanks, Travis. That was a good idea, but 2-hole level there, level here, and this is clamped down really tight, so that's actually pretty good. And I think what he was saying too is you could take a jack and jack it up right here to take the slack out of your flange to level it out, because there's usually a little slop in there. So I did that a little bit, and I just gotta adjust this, and then I'll put it on my marks, or a little over about like that. Put tack on the top, and then I'll make sure it's 2-holed, level it like this, put a tack on the bottom, then I'll spin it 90 and do the same thing. I say it's in a couple videos though, but I'm doing type 316 welding right here. This is all 316 stainless steel, so just make sure you're using the correct filler wire for type 316. You don't want to be using 308 or something different, so use your appropriate wire and just double check with that. Good idea. Alright, so that worked out pretty good. So I spun at 90. I had to move my 2-hole pin because these things, it's too close and it's just hitting everything. So I just moved it to the top, and that kind of, I mean, really I don't have to recheck the 2-hole when it's like that, but I do anyway. So I spun it like that, and then this set I had up top, which that should be equal, but it was anyway. So I put them back how it is. So we're good. Now the only thing I forgot to do again was to check my measurement before I tacked it all. Getting ahead of myself for you guys. So we're pretty good, but 5 3/4 would be from the edge of this flange because this is a raised face flange. So I'll just throw another, I like to have like 8 tacks on the outside, 8 tacks on the inside of each side before I weld it. And this requires no purge or anything, so pretty easy to weld. I could probably weld it on my little positioner. So tack it up and we'll clean this up, get the positioner out and ready to weld. That was actually a really good idea. I'm going to save that block too. I could have used that block and put it on my normal setup and that would have worked too, but I like that tripod idea. That was pretty good too. I might save that for the future and try that for the future. So thank you, Travis. That was a really good idea. I appreciate that. Shout out to you. And yeah, I got them all tacked up inside and outside of everything. Now's a good time to clean up your stuff. And if you want to clean up your filler wire, just wipe off your marks so that way they don't get stained on once that heats up and it kind of bakes it on there and it's harder to get off. So I like to do that now and plus a final clean over and we'll get ready to start welding. And here's why I like to clean my filler wire. Brand new filler wire from the box and a little dirty. Give my tungsten a quick sharpen before I start welding it. Good idea. And look at that, they came out maybe like 128th of a difference. Pretty much close to each other, so I'm happy with that. So our everlast is still down for the count, so we're gonna use the miller. But got my book, 4-inch schedule 40 pipe to spool, that's a spool, straight spool. So inside, which would be 155 amps and 32 for the speed. So crank that up, 32. I'll probably bump it down to 31 just because it's Monday and I'm probably a little slower today. And 155 amps. And I'm not going to use the foot pedal. I'm going to do like scratch start or whatever. So I got to change this, the panel on, lift arc, 155. And then gas is about 25, 30 CFH. I like to weld these first, the insides first, and then I'll weld the outside after. Or, I don't know, I guess would that be the outside or would this be the outside? You let me know. Get a little caffeine in before you start welding. I hate this torch, it's too big and bulky. The thing's like an anaconda, this stiff thing. Gonna be using 1/8 inch filler wire. Remember, check it, make sure it's 3/16. I'll probably use 1/8 inch for the outside or inside, outside, whatever you call it. And I don't know how well you could see that. That went pretty good, a little hot. And I probably could have bumped it down like 1 speed. I'd like to go bump it down like 2 speeds and go like 5 amps a little cooler than that. But that came out pretty good. The torch is heavy though, give me like carpal tunnel in my hands. And while it's warm, not hot, but warm, I like to wire brush my color off. So I bumped this down two speeds and down 50 or 5 to 150 amps, so 5 amps. I think I should have bumped that up to about 30. That was going a little slow, but the heat was pretty good. And that's coming out pretty good. I got a little glare from those lights in my helmet, but not bad. So now I'll let that cool down for a second, wire brush it. Inside's done on all of them. Now, ready for my outside, whatever you want to call it. Ooh, so I bumped that from 150 to 170 amps and 33. So So 170 amps. Ooh, I know I go hot on the outside like that though. So, I guess that's what it is. Bump that to 170, say 169. Working pretty good. I could kind of cruise along with that actually. A little hot, but I mean it's not hot, just hotter than I like it. But I think that's pretty good. I could really bump it down to like 165-ish and slow this down a little. It'd take a little longer, but I could bump this up too and cruise along a little faster. So maybe I'll try bumping this up like 2 more speeds and we'll go from there on. And the next one I'll lower the speed and just show you guys a little difference. Alright, let's see how that did. Still a little bit of color, a little less, but definitely a lot better. Like you can control your bead a little bit more and have a little better looking profile of a weld. Still a little hot, I guess, but actually it was pretty perfect right there. Inside, like nice color, you're getting penetration, ending right there. So it came out pretty good, but you could just see slowing it down, it gets like less chance of undercutting, which that didn't undercut, but it's easy to if you're just going slow, where you got to go fast with that. But I took like another probably minute to weld this, and I don't know if it's more heat going into this. No, there's more heat going into that, but sometimes the slower you go, the more heat goes into it. Doesn't seem like it, but like if I was to bump that down to 140 and try doing this, it might put more heat into it. So, all right, and this one came out pretty good too. Let's see, a little dark. I've already brushed that one before, but I think we're pretty good. Me, I'd like to have like a little lighter color, but the smaller stuff keeps it a little darker too. So there's a lot of stuff that goes in account when you're using a positioner, not just that, or walking the cup on the flanges and stuff like that. Like for instance, your tungsten stick out makes a big difference. Like now this is the farthest I stuck it out so far, which I usually stick it out kind of far, but the farther you stick it out sometimes, but not too far, makes it a little easier to walk it and step it. And so that's one thing. Another thing is you want to have that torch comfortable on you. This last go around, see how this like extra excess was hanging like that, and it kept bumping up like that, holding me up a little bit, which wasn't a huge deal. If I had the better torch, I wouldn't have done that. The cable, this is a little more flexible. Your steps that you do, how far you go with the steps, like that was pretty tight on that one. Up here, I spaced them apart a lot farther. It's probably hard to tell. So that's another thing that like keep track of, or whatever. Doesn't really matter. Sometimes the farther you go, the longer you have to pause to prevent undercut and allow that filler wire to travel in there and stuff. And just all different stuff like that, but a lot of different things that you could do to change things up, or higher amperage, lower amperage. You could go a little lower and go slower, or faster and just higher and go faster. So all different game stuff. Pretty much same thing with everything else. There's all tricks of the trade and things to do, whatever you want to do, as long as it's within tolerance and acceptable. And if it's got to pass your x-rays or anything, then that too. So I'll wire brush this up and straighten this up, and we'll give you a final once over of everything, and I guess an intro or outro of everything. ready for our overview, I guess. All right, everything's all cleaned up my whole work area, nice and fresh. That thing's ready to be welded next. I'm gonna oakite these before they pick them up. I'm gonna do that right after I do this video, just to passivate them a little extra, because I got a couple little scratches up here from that thing where, just in case, and that chain was on there and everything, I just don't want it to rust. So that little passivation will help it and protect it a lot more in the future. So that's that. Yeah, that worked pretty good. That idea Travis had worked pretty good too. I might actually make one out of aluminum. So I think if I do an aluminum one maybe too, that maybe it won't scratch up here like it's scratched a little bit on that pipe, which doesn't matter. For what these are, it's fine. I think they might get buried in the long run or something where someone won't see them, but still, I like to protect it for the future. So maybe some aluminum ones might help it a little bit farther. But good idea though, Travis. That was really a good idea. That doghouse thing, little doghouse block. I don't think this is the right way that the other person made it. It was just easier for me, and it worked pretty good. So if that's it, let me know. Might be a couple weeks before I get this video out or something, hopefully not, but hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and let me know your way of doing it, or if you would have done it a little differently or something, or whatever, or if you liked it or didn't like it. Feel free to subscribe. I'm still trying for 1,000 subscribers. I think right now I'm at 810 subscribers, so hopefully by the time this video comes out we'll be at 1,000, then I get my monetization, and be kind of cool. So yeah, like, dislike, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff that the YouTube people do, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Feel free to check out the other videos and everything if you are new to this channel and everything, and thank you for watching. See you on the next one. Chris Wojnarski, over and out. And I cleaned them up with the oakite. Now they'll be passivated and protected. A little extra, go the extra mile for them. And one last thing I forgot to tell you guys was always just double check your welds, make sure they look good. And if you see anything, I mean, even though it looks good when you're welding it and everything, but it's still good to take a flashlight if you can. I did before, and just go over everything, make sure it looks good, there's no pinholes or any questionable spots. So one extra good thing to do for your stuff. Go the extra mile, take pride in your work. And that's my last little tip for you guys. Thank you for watching. Feel free to like, dislike, comment, and subscribe. Check out my Instagram where I post more often at Chris Wojnarski. See you on the next one.